Grafana is for visualization. So if you want to show me some kind of visualization and say like this is
Yes, like
it, that's fine.
af
Okay.
after I submitted the presentation, I had time to practically implement it. So I added my dashboard that I configured.
Actually, that will be a plus point because if you can show me the visualization part as well, because now we are going towards more hands-on. The new exam format, which is coming up inshallah and will be implemented by next year or early next year or maybe earlier than next year, uh, has projects, right? Where you have to show and build and submit those configurations and everything on the portal, right? So absolutely, I'm fine with that. You can show it to me, inshallah. But like
Thank
the
you.
presentation should be that the artifacts, you can show me any kind of artifacts, snippets, configuration changes, and whatever you want to do, that's fine. But the presentation that you are going through with me should be the same or as close as possible. Because if the pages are different, then that creates problems. Okay.
No, it would be the same.
Okay, Bismillah. All right. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So today we have Sayyida Zainab Hassan, Sister Sayyida Zainab Hassan. She is going for her diploma in artificial intelligence operations, level 6, EduQual level 6, RQF level 6. My name is Muhammad Faisal. I'm one of the examiners at Nafi International College. The date is September 24. The time is 10:40 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on my side of the world. Um, so the topic you have is implementing Zero Trust Architecture, ZTA, AI ML pipeline security with Istio, Service Mesh, Keycloak, and Falco for healthcare data protection, right? There are some certain key learning objectives like ZTA architecture implementation, identity and access management, AI and ML pipeline security, runtime security and monitoring, data protection and privacy, compliance and automation, right? You have to mention some of the open source solutions, which are part of that. Grafana is also there as well for observability. So if you want to have, if as you were discussing, if you want to show me some dashboards and stuff like that, absolutely you can do so. In the exam, you'll be given 15 to minimum 15, maximum up to 25 minutes for going through the presentation, followed by an interview, which will be 30 to 40 minutes. The whole exam can be wrapped up within 1 hour, minimum, maximum, up to 1.5 hours, depending on how things are going, inshallah. Okay. Do you have any questions before we start?
No, thank you.
Okay. You may share your screen, please, and I will start the timer. When I ask you to start the presentation, then you can do so. Okay, I can see that. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Bismillah, you may proceed now.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, my name is Zainab, and my topic is Zero Trust AI/ML Pipeline Security for Healthcare Data. So, let's start our presentation. Scope and key objectives. So, our presentation covers building a zero trust architecture for AI/ML pipelines handling sensitive healthcare data. We're going to focus on three key goals: designing and implementing zero trust principles to secure these pipelines, ensuring compliance with healthcare data regulations like HIPAA, HITECH, and GDPR, and mitigating risks by securing all interactions in a multi-tenant Kubernetes environment to prevent breaches, unauthorized access, and tampering. What is zero trust architecture? In a zero trust model, we assume no implicit trust. Every network, user, or device must authenticate and be authorized before accessing resources. All accounts and devices, even the internal ones, require strong authentication and are granted only minimal privileges. Our pipeline enforces multi factor identity checks and least privileged role based access controls, ensuring that even if an attacker breaches the network perimeter, they cannot move laterally without revalidating the credentials and policy compliance. On Kubernetes, we extend zero trust across all layers. Every pod to pod communication uses encrypted channels, MTLS. In short, the ML platform operates within a strictly controlled, no trust perimeter, with every access decision being logged and auditable. With this foundation in place, we're going to build a service mesh on Istio to enforce these controls in our ML pipeline. But before we move on to that, let's discuss why zero trust is critical in healthcare. So, back in 2015, Anthem experienced one of the largest healthcare breaches in history. Nearly 80 million patient records were exposed. It led to significant HIPAA fines and long term reputational damage. Since then, Anthem has been moving towards a zero trust model to strengthen their identity controls and reduce risk. Fast forward to 2024, an AI assisted attack caused a significant loss of $1.6 billion and regulatory fallout due to gaps in enforcing strict security policies. These incidents highlight why adopting comprehensive zero trust practices is crucial to reducing such risks. Let's discuss our zero trust implementation stack. For service to service security, we'll be using Istio. For identity and access management, we're going to use Keycloak and Cert Manager. For runtime security, we'll be using Falco and Open Policy Agent for policy enforcement. For model protection, we're using MLflow, and for data protection, we're using HashiCorp Vault. This is an overview of our zero trust architecture. We're going to dive into each part during our presentation, so by the end, this diagram makes sense. Istio Service Mesh. Istio provides the core service mesh layer to enforce our zero trust network policies. It acts as the backbone of our zero trust architecture by injecting invoice sidecar proxies alongside every pod to enforce mutual TLS. These proxies mediate all service to service traffic and report telemetry. All internal east west service traffic is encrypted with MTLS and handled by the sidecar proxies. The Istio control plane configures these proxies with routing and security rules. We enable mutual TLS, and by default, Istio acts as a certificate authority, issuing certificates for every service identity to ensure that all the inter-service traffic is encrypted. For ingress traffic, we deploy an Istio ingress gateway with Istio issued certificates, and egress traffic is also tightly controlled. All outbound traffic is routed through an Istio egress gateway. And we apply authorization policies to whitelist approved external endpoints. Istio's authorization policy enforces fine-grained access controls between services. These policies allow us to explicitly allow or deny operations based on identities and namespaces. So this will give a quick overview of how the components connect. In short, every connection in and out of the mesh is encrypted through MTLS and secured by explicit policies, a true zero trust model at the network layer. Next, we're going to address who those services and users are. Keycloak. Let's first discuss what is centralized identity and role-based access control. While the mesh enforces how the services communicate, we must also control who is allowed to act within our system. We're going to use Keycloak as a centralized identity provider for both the users and the services. Keycloak supports 0auth 2.0 and OpenID Connect, which are essential for modern APIs and machine learning pipelines because they enable fine-grained token-based access control. When a user logs in, they authenticate through Keycloak and receive a JSON Web Token encoding their identity and group membership. These group claims map directly to Kubernetes role-based access control rules. For example, medical staff might be in a physician's group with read-only access to sensitive datasets, while data engineers may have broader ML model management privileges. This enforces least privilege and ties every action to a known authorized identity. Service-to-service access is also secured using Keycloak-issued JSON Web Tokens. Istio validates these tokens using request authentication policies, ensuring that only authorized services can communicate. Mutual TLS, managed by Cert Manager, provides strong workload identity and trust at the transport layer with automated certificate issuance and rotation. This diagram shows how Keycloak issues the tokens. Zero Trust security is implemented at every layer. Zero Auth OIDC governed user and API access. MTLS secures service to service communication. So, this will enable a seamless, secure inter and intra cluster communication. Now that access is tightly controlled, we turn to securing the artifacts and the data flowing through the ML pipeline. AI ML pipeline security. Our MLOps pipeline uses ML flow to track every experiment, model, and artifact. Each training run is logged with a unique run ID and git commit, ensuring full traceability. This lets us know exactly what data and code produced a given model. This lineage is critical for compliance, creating an immutable audit trail that shows how each model was derived. It also helps detect any tampering with the models after the deployment. We're going to use Apache Atlas to track the data lineage across the entire pipeline from raw data ingestion to pre-processing, training, and inference. This includes mapping which patient records influenced which models. Lineage tracking supports compliance, audit trails, and rollback capabilities. They're all essential in regulated environments. It complements MLflow by connecting model artifacts back to the data sources and user actions. This is the ML pipeline with integrated security checks. To protect sensitive patient data during training and inference, we're going to apply differential privacy techniques using tools from OpenDB. These methods add statistical noise to sensitive features, preserving patient anonymity without sacrificing our model utility. This will ensure that our model remains privacy aware even when trained on real world healthcare datasets, aligning with GDPR and HIPAA privacy by design principles. Having secured both the data and models, we next implement continuous runtime monitoring for our cluster. Runtime security and monitoring. Even with strong design time controls, we must detect and respond to threats that happen at runtime. For this, we deploy Falco for container and Kubernetes security. Falco runs on every node at runtime as a daemon set, hooking into the kernel and monitoring syscalls. It evaluates the activity against a set of built in and custom rules to detect anomalies. Falco is especially useful for detecting unauthorized behavior inside pods, like launching a shell in a container or running a binary not part of the image or accessing sensitive files. For example, if an attacker managed to execute a shell inside an ML Model 7 pod, Falco would raise an alert. While I explained the integration of Falco with our observability tools, this is our Grafana dashboard with MTLS and Istio configured. To support real-time alerts, we integrate Falco with Prometheus and Grafana. Using Falco Exporter, we expose Falco metrics as Prometheus time series. These feed into the dashboards and alert rules. For instance, spikes in suspicious file writes or unauthorized access to model registry volumes. We also extend Falco's rule set to support behavioral analytics for insider threats. For example, we monitor for unusual access patterns, such as a user pulling multiple sensitive datasets rapidly or a data scientist accessing model storage outside the business hours. These deviations from normal behavior help identify potential insider misuse or a credential compromise. With runtime detection in place, we move on to securing the data itself using encryption and automated retention policies, guarding what Falco can't see. Data protection and privacy. To protect sensitive healthcare data, we use HashiCorp Vault for encryption and automated data lifecycle management. We use Vault's secrets engine to encrypt PII fields on the fly. Applications never access raw encryption keys directly. Instead, they call Vault's API to encrypt or decrypt the data, with Vault managing the keys securely and centrally. This satisfies HIPAA encryption and key management requires and ensures that access is logged, auditable, and least privilege enforced. For non-production environments like testing or dev, we will use Vault's transform engine for data masking. It replaces sensitive identifiers like patient IDs or social security numbers. These masked values are plausible but fake, ensuring that realistic test data is available without exposing the real patient info, crucial for PII protection. This will ensure that realistic data can be used in analytic workflows without exposing our patient's information. HIPAA and HITECH require strong audit logs and they require storing them and EPHI for at least 6 years. But they also mandate secure disposal when no longer needed. So, our data lifecycle approach includes encrypted active storage for current data, tiered archival of older, less used data, and cryptographic erasure at end of life by destroying vault managed keys, and automated workflows like cron jobs to enforce retention timelines and trigger deletion or anonymization. Vault's key TTTLs effectively enforce that no long lived secrets exist. Once the keys expire, data becomes unreadable. Having secured it, we're going to conclude by codifying compliance through policy as code and audit trails. Compliance automation. To automate compliance across our AI pipeline, we're going to use Open Policy Agent to enforce the policies, and audit logs for traceability, and automate workflows to meet data privacy laws. OPA enforces compliance policies, for example, blocking insecure deployments or ensuring data protection requirements are met with every decision logged for auditability. We're going to maintain full platform level audit logging through Kubernetes audit logs. They will capture API calls made by the users and the service accounts. Istio logs track service to service communication. OPA logs, they will document every policy decision. Together, all these form an immutable audit trail. This allows auditors to see who did what, when, and why a request was allowed or blocked, satisfying both HIPAA and internal audit requirements. For GDPR compliance, we implement automated workflows that respond to data deletion requests. When a patient exercises their right to be forgotten, OPA policies can trigger a Kubernetes job that locates and deletes the user's data across all the systems. The deletion should also be logged to prove full compliance with data erasure requirements. Together, policy as code and logging ensure our system is compliant, auditable, and enforceable by design. Let's conclude by discussing the industry use cases. Healthcare AI companies can use this to secure diagnostic tools and APIs with Keycloak and OIDC. Medical research institutions can train privacy preserving models and track data lineage with Apache Atlas. Pharma organizations can run federated learning, secure ML flow models, and detect runtime threats. So, what have we built? A zero trust system that doesn't assume anyone or anything is trustworthy by default. If you're a service, prove it. If you're a user, authenticate. If your data, stay encrypted and auditable. And if you're suspicious, Falco is watching.
Excellent.
Thank you.
The last tagline was pretty good, mashallah. So how long it took you to do all the preparation?
I guess it took me a month to compile everything.
Okay, mashallah, mashallah. Good, good. Okay, Bismillah. All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So let's start with that. Uh, okay, additional notes. Okay. Bismillah. All right. So, what role does Istio MTLS plays in zero trust AI ML pipeline?
So mutual TLS encrypts service-to-service communication through inverse sidecar proxies.
Okay.
So the communication between the services and the data that is in transit through them is protected.
So how does Keycloak enhances the identity and access management in a healthcare AI ML pipeline?
So basically, Keycloak uses Zero Auth 2.0 and OIDC for identity and access management. So it authenticates the users by issuing JSON web tokens, and it grants authorization only to known users, and it also uh, ties every action back to that known authorized identity that is crucial for auditability.
Okay, in the labs, in the no, so everyone gets a different kind of al-razak, right? So your al-razak is different from others. So you will be receiving labs as per your project as well. So whatever project topic you have, you will receive labs to mimic those as well. Have you played with the JSON tokens, you know, in terms of generating them, trying to hack them, trying to replace them and stuff like that? Yet? No?
No, not with the JSON tokens
Oh,
yet.
yes. So you'll be, have you installed Keycloak in a like on a container and start playing with it, generating keys and stuff like that?
Like I've just done the beginner stuff, but I haven't implemented this architecture completely. Like I've done parts of it.
Got it. Okay. So this is good, mashallah. So in the Al Razak labs, you will be required to do those things. As we are now wrapping up the whole you know, face-to-face exam, more emphasis is now given on all the other aspects, right? So you'll be dealing with those in the coming days, inshallah. Okay. But you know, you're already passing the exam anyway, but you still have to go through the labs. The labs are very important for you. Okay. All right. You are doing exceptionally well, right? Exceptionally well, mashallah. So good job. Uh, why is, you know, you mentioned differential privacy. So what is differential privacy? You know, how, why
So
is it important for data, for healthcare data?
okay, so basically, differential privacy uses tools like OpenDP to add statistical noise to sensitive data sets during training and inference. So the model accuracy would be preserved through real world data sets, but the PII, personally identifiable information, would be protected due to that noise.
So are they anonymizing the data? What are they doing? You know, what are they trying to achieve through differential privacy policy?
So basically, we can use techniques like data masking. Like we will not change the data, but we're gonna use obfuscated values.
What is obfuscation? You mentioned that.
Okay, so can I use an example?
Yes, of course, of course.
Okay, so if your patient ID is 12345 6, we can use it like 12XX. It would be obfuscated, like no one knows your real ID, but the data is like,
So hiding information within an information, right?
yes,
So you are creating more noise and stuff like that. How old are you?
21.
At the age of 21, you know all of these things, which are normally for people who have been working in the industry, have a master's degree, and and even if someone comes from doing a master's degree and they come out, and if you ask all of these questions, they will be clueless. It's like, what do you mean? What are you saying? Right? So amazing, mashallah. You know, I'm very happy with my students because they keep on surprising me again and again. That means that we can, you know, increase the bar and make it much more difficult, right? So that
Oh,
because we know that they can deliver, because now the labs makes it much more easier for them, right? Inshallah.
of course.
Okay, that's good. That's good, mashallah. Okay, so what kind of threats does Falco detect in runtime security monitoring?
So Falco can detect threats like, for example, someone launches a container inside a pod. Falco can raise an alert for that. If someone accesses sensitive files that they're not authorized to, Falco could raise an alert. And Falco can also be trained to know the normal baseline behavior. So if someone does something that is not normal deviation from the baseline that it was told to, Falco can raise an alert for that, and it can generate alerts with severity levels. So if something has a high severity level, it can raise an alert that this needs immediate action. So that would make the mean time to respond, it would be very less.
Okay, so it's like Falco detects unauthorized shell access, file tampering, privilege escalation, model tampering, insider threats. It's generating alerts in real time, right? Essentially, it's this morning I was talking to the team that we need to have proper APM, application performance monitoring, FIM, SIM, vulnerability management, cloud security controls. That's exactly what it covers, right? Amazing, mashallah. Okay, that's good. Good job. Good job. Okay, which open source tools are used that you have mentioned in the compliance automation process in the pipeline in your
So,
present? Which
so
one?
we have used Open Policy Agent for compliance automation with HIPAA and HITECH. So it enforces the policies and it enforces the policies that need to require to secure our zero trust architecture.
Okay. So OPA and what else? There are few more.
You can use Gatekeeper with Open Policy Agent.
Okay, and give me another one last one.
One last one.
For the audit logs, what do you have?
For audit logs, we have all the tools that do produce audit logs like Falco, Istio.
And Vault audit logs?
I'm sorry?
Vault audit logs for secure event tracking, right? Okay, that's
Yeah.
good, much. So, all right. Five. Okay, excellent. Okay, mashallah. All right, so now let's go into the power plays over now. So we have jumped into the tougher questions. If you have to
Okay.
compare tokenization with masking for PII protection in healthcare pipelines,
Okay.
explain to me what is masking and what is tokenization, and which one would you prefer? So first of all, what is masking?
So basically, data masking is like like we discussed, obfuscating the values, and tokenization is the original value. We don't obfuscate it, but basically we encrypt it through tokens. Like once the token is generated and it is approved, then you can see your data. Well, data masking is not like that, it just obfuscates the values.
So masking is irreversible obscuration, obscuring the sensitive data, example, replacing SSN digits with XXX or whatever, right? And the tokenization would be replacing the PII with tokens, with reversible mapping through secure vaults. That's what you can do. Which one is primarily used in the healthcare settings when it comes to training contexts for the AI ML models?
So basically, when we train for ML models, I think we use data masking because through it, the developers cannot see the real patient information, but their model accuracy is preserved.
So for the training context, yes, they use masking for training context, but uh, in the healthcare sector, they often use tokenization when re-identification for legitimate purposes is required, right? So you answered the question right. Uh, if a model is tampered with during training, how would this architecture detect and mitigate that you have proposed?
Okay, so basically, Apache Atlas tracks data lineage. So it creates an immutable audit trail, and it also supports rollback to the last stable version. So we can track the tampering through Apache atlases.
So what do you call it? Like, I mean, Falco would detect anomalous files or process behaviors while audit trails, right? What do you call it? Like, will Falco will be able to provide the forensic logs?
Yes, Falco is generating logs for the whole architecture, but if something is tampered from our model, we can use Apache Atlas data lineage for that.
Excellent. Okay. All right. So, what is the difference between zero trust applied at the network layer and at the application layer?
So basically, at network layer, we use Istio to secure the basically the data in transit, and at application layer, we secure the data through Vault. It encrypts the data at rest.
Okay. What do you call in the network layer? There are two kinds of traffic. What do you
Okay.
call that kind of traffic? Like, there is just like if you look at the compass, it has four directions, right?
Okay.
So, what do you call that traffic? Happening between the network is called what? For which you can use Istio.
It is transported through TLS.
Well, the application itself is talking to another server or another application internally within the network. What do you call that traffic?
Oh, internal traffic, that is east-west traffic.
East west, mashallah. Good, good, mashallah. And what do you call the traffic when it goes in and out of the system of the network?
That is egress.
Egress. And what do you call it?
Egress traffic is called, it
Well, when
was,
it's going in and out of in and out of the network, right? So there's a name for it. Come on, you're very close, very close. You mentioned east west. What else is there?
and
Okay, that's fine.
mm,
That's okay.
so
North and south traffic, right? So if you have to govern that traffic, can you use Istio to,
yes,
so
we can
what would
use
you do?
authorization policies.
Okay, sorry, what policies?
Authorization policies.
Authorization policies, okay. It's good, mashallah. Okay, it's good. All right, so you need to learn because we have taught you in the labs these complex scenarios, right? How to do all of those things. Later on in the labs, you will see multiple virtual machines given to you, not one, but two, three, four, where you then have to complete the lab, right? And that's a lab that you have to complete in a daytime. If you can't, then you within 3 hours. So the time is tight, and you have to complete it quickly. Okay. Keycloak. Keycloak does what in the application layer?
Keycloak authenticates the traffic from Istio. It basically it provides JSON web tokens with time to live, like to protect our architecture, so they expire in a few minutes. So it also provides authorization and authentication, like what person can perform what job, what is their role, and what is their authorization for that.
Okay, so how would you implement? I know that you showed me the Grafana dashboard. How would you implement a real-time model temper detection using Falco rules, Grafana dashboards, and machine learning flows, registry logs, and sync? How would you do that? Can you give me a walkthrough? Step one, I would do this. Step two, step three, step four. Just give me three, four steps.
Okay, so if we're gonna use Falco for it, we can set some predefined rules. Like, for example, tampering of access files. If this happens, you have to raise an alert. Or if someone is escalating their privileges, or a service or a pod is compromised, you have to raise an alert. So basically, we tell it what the threats are, and we train it for that, so it raises alerts with severity levels, obviously, that something that requires immediate attention or not.
Okay. If you apply for a job as a machine learning engineer or as a DevOps engineer or as an AI engineer working in IT, SOC, Security Operations Center, stuff like that, and you explain to them all of these things, then you will be able to secure the job. However, you have to up the game, like saying, I'm looking at your presentation, Falco rule triggers on suspicious file activity, model weight changes. Events are streamed to Grafana dashboards. Machine learning flow registry logs track authorized model versions. And then the mismatch between Falco alerts and ML flow signals tampering, automated rollback. So we roll back the changes or the infrastructure or whatever, right? So that's how you have to do it. You were able to answer the question, but like when you go for the interview, and these are, some pretty good things coming in the market, then that's how you have to be, right? I'm going to tell you something very important at the end, because we are only one final question is remaining, right?
Okay.
Uh, in the upcoming exams, you will be asked to draft an Istio authorization policy to ensure only services with valid key cloak, uh, you know, uh, tokens can call the model inference API. I mean, these are the new exams which are coming up because we are raising the bar, right? Our students are going for a master's degree, and London South Bank University in UK has been so happy with us that they are accepting our students with open arms, right? So in this September class, this already started. Multiple students are there. Next year, February, a bigger number is going there, right? So I'm really happy. Possibly you can be, most of the all of those guys are the boys. You might be the first girl, inshallah, to go there. The first sister. All of them are brothers, inshallah. If you want to do that, I will talk to you about that. So last question: uh, a hospital AI system, right?
Okay.
So let me think about it. So a hospital AI system must delete all records of the patient upon request. This is something that even comes to our clinic. We have a clinic in Canada, right? So there are more than 10 doctors working. We are also planning to open, inshallah, in Saudi Arabia as well, right? So a branch of that, right? So the clinic name is Cedar Bray Medical Center. This is an actual case study, right? I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
So, a hospital or a clinic AI system must delete all records of a patient upon request because they do request. If they have to request a data transfer, they have to pay $100 fee, and we can transfer their data, the EMR from the electronic medical records, to another clinic or hospital, right? Whatever it is. Or we can just print it out to them and you can say, okay, you have this, right? Or file or whatever. So, walk through how this architecture guarantees a right to be forgotten,
Okay.
the one that you have given me. How would you do that?
So basically, we're going to use Kubernetes cron jobs. So when a patient wants their data to be deleted from our systems, we can trigger that cron job through Open Policy Agent that ensures compliance with GDPR's right to be forgotten, and that Kubernetes job is going to delete the patient's data.
Why is this a Kubernetes job? That's not a Kubernetes task. That's a job. Okay, how would we trace all the patient related data sets, models and logs? What would we use as per your system? What would we use?
We can use Apache Atlas.
Apache Atlas. So just okay, so just one by one. Yes, you answered it right. Then in the next step, to what would we use to delete the PII tokens, keys, and everything?
Okay.
Where
So
are all the keys? Where are all the keys?
we're going to store the keys in Vault.
And Vault. So the Vault deletes PII tokens and keys. First step, Atlas traces all patient-related data sets, models, and logs. Vault deletes PII tokens and keys, right? Third step, how would we um Third step would be that you have to explain to me what would the ML flow would do next to the registry.
So
What-
the
Yeah, go ahead.
like Apache Atlas would track the data, and ML flow trigger the job? How?
No, no. I mean, look, the Atlas already trace all the logs and data, right? So which needs to be deleted. Vault already, and then all the tokens and the keys and the tokenizations and all those things were detected by the vault. So they are scheduled for deletion. What would the ML flow model do? What happens in the ML flow?
Uh,
You can look at your presentation if you want.
okay.
In our clinic, we use a system known as TELUS EMR. Everything happens in the EMR, right? It follows the same process, similar process, but they build up. TELUS is one of the telecommunication companies here, right? What you have built upon is using open source model. All the large hospitals, they use open source solutions. That's why we train them on open source solutions. Our clinic is only a 10 doctors, 15 doctors operation, right? So it's not like a huge hospital. So at the hospital level, these things are used. So the ML flow will register model registry invalidates model trained with that patient's data because now that data is gone. So it needs to take out the context of that data and retrain itself, right? OPA, what does OPA does?
Open Policy Agent ensures compliance through policies with GDPR and HIPAA.
No, in that instance of deleting the data, what would OPA workflow would do?
Open Policy Agent would ensure that the data has been deleted from the system.
Yes, open workflow, OPA workflow ensures no deployment proceeds with data still linked. It needs to be removed from the system, right? Because everything is managed in the infrastructure as a code template, the application, all of those things, right? So we have to modify all of these things. You see, one request reverberates and has a butterfly effect throughout the whole, application. And then the last thing is compliance dashboard. What does it do?
So like we can monitor our compliance through the dashboards. They visualize our compliance policies.
Compliance and both verifies deletion and generates GDPR audit proof, right? Compliance, right? Excellent. MashaAllah. Very proud of you, sister. MashaAllah. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah.
Thank you.
Did very well.
I hope
We were
so.
this close to breaking the record of Shanze. Yesterday, I was talking to Shanze. She's in UK, right? One of the brightest student we had, the topper, right? I think she secured 95, 97%, right? Your score is close,
Okay.
but not, but you were not able to defeat her, right? Girls are smart, mashallah. Boys, I don't know which planet they're living in. They're not paying attention. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, would you like to know your results?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. So in the presentation, you secured 22.5, right? Out of 25, which is 90%, mashallah. Okay. Let me double check. 22.5 divided by 25. Yeah. Okay. So that comes out to 90%. There are different when we mark the results, we take into consideration five areas: content mastery, organization, presentation skills, use of visuals, and usage of AI tools, right? Four. So there are different aspects we considered. 22.5 is a very, very good score because you secured most of those things there. Almost native fluency, but obviously you had to add more excitement to it, right? Into the presentation, right? All right. In the Q&A, it was very good, mashallah. 24 out of 25. You can pass any interview. If you can pass this, you can pass an interview.
Inshallah.
Start applying, inshallah. If I saw your resume, it's not ready. If you get the resume done, mention all those things, khalas, like you will be sitting on the job. So 96%, okay, in the Q&A, right? It's as close to Shanze Khan as, I mean, she secured 96 in there as well. But in the presentation, obviously she had the native fluency advantage. She was from UK, just like the guy yesterday. He was from UK and Canada. He had the same edge, right? So mashallah, very good. So your overall score comes out to be 93%. Okay. Now here's the thing. We are sponsoring a student, right? Now exam is over. Exam is over. Okay. So this is my recommendation to you. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, Mamoon Bashir is one of the students who is now being sponsored to go to overseas to study, right? So the policy that we have is that you need to pass the exam, complete the whole diploma within 1 year, complete all the labs, all the requirements. So he did all of those things, right? Teach on our platform for 6 months. He did that. He's doing it as well right now, right? And then we will be able to provide you our financial sponsorship, right?
Okay.
So he is now, give me 1 minute, let me check, you know, because he was just given the bank statements and the financial statements of which country are you going? So he is now going, mashallah, to study, right? I'm asking him because I saw that he received the bank statement and everything from us, right? Many people, they struggle to arrange the finances, right? You may be, you may not need it. I don't know, right? But he required it from us. He's a he's a B pharmacy student. He studied with us, uh, four courses, right? He took admission in DCCS, then he started studying DevOps and then SysOps and then AI Ops, and then he also did blockchain, right? So he bought basically multiple tracks, and he completed them, and he passed the exam of AI Ops, right? A B pharmacy student who was not able to find any job started working in the industry, right? And now he is going to basically apply for visa outside. Let me call him quickly and ask him, okay, where he is applying for. Hold on. Let me ask him. Okay, he's not answering, but let me see if but soon you will see his story coming there, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is he? Cass. So he's going to UK. He's going to UK, right? Uh, so outline of the financial. So that's what we are doing, right? So we are providing him the company or government sponsorship. Please upload the document. I'm going to show you. So we assisted him in providing all the things, right? So we can do the same for you because you have reached that level. So you need 90 or above in order to access that benefit, right? So this is just a recommendation for you. You may have different plans. I don't know, right? You may,
That sounds nice.
right? But that's one way of doing it. I can show you. This is what he requested, and we are now, you know, have access to required 26,417 and expenses as outlined in the financial plan section. So yes, we are providing him all of this information. And as I was informed today, see, I saved his name as Mamoon Bashir, pharmacist, because he did his degree in pharmacy, couldn't find a job. AI Ops helped him earn whatever he invested, he was able to take out within 6 months of all of his investment out, right? And he worked in the industry, has been working in the industry for 1 year, 1.5 year now, and now he's going to UK, right? He's going to UK now. So that's another thing that you can go and do.
Okay.
Right now in America, things are getting tougher, and the Trump administration is shooting themselves, uh, you know, on their own feet. They are using a shotgun or whatever you want to use the analogy to, shoot their own feet, like, and say, yeah, we're going to do all of those things, but that's a very bad idea what they're doing. Anyway, there's a lot of reason behind it, like immigration fraud and this and that, because people do abuse the H-1B system, right? But countries like Canada, Germany, France, UK, and all of these, Japan, they have realized that they need immigrants, to highly qualified immigrants, right, to come in and work at the age of, you're 21, right? At
Yes.
21, if you go, inshallah, and do your master's program, you did your intermediate, you did your AI ops, right? You're done. How long it took you to do your AI ops?
I enrolled in September last year, 1st September, and it's like,
12 महीने, 12 months. Okay. So आपको 12 महीने लगे. It took you 12 months and you have completed it, right? Some of the requirements are left. You can go through the Al-Razak. You still have 6 more months left. Complete the
okay.
Al-Razak labs. If you complete all the Al-Razak 6 months labs, you will get your resume. The 7 to 12 months, the last remaining 6 months, that's a separate labs. But if you complete the first 6 months labs of Al Razak, and month by month you will be released, you've already seen those coming in your portal, right? If you complete
Yes.
those labs, you will land the job in Saudi Arabia, in UAE. These are highly paid countries where they are looking for people, inshallah. So
That's what I'm planning to do.
you have a very bright potential, inshallah. A very
Thank you.
bright potential to go outside, inshallah. Okay. Are you the eldest in the house?
No, I have an elder brother.
What is he doing?
Basically, he works as an SDR with US based companies,
What is STR?
like something in sales.
Okay. I don't know. I don't want to comment on that, right? But inshallah, you will be able to go and prosper further and further, inshallah. Okay.
Yeah.
So work on it. Say my salam to your parents. Ask them for du'as. Allah min
They're
yasluk
listening.
Masjid Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This is one of the du'as I ask Allah in every salah. Okay. You
Inshallah.
have a very bright future ahead of you. बहुत कामयाब होगी बेटा, इंशाल्लाह आप लोग बहुत आगे जाओगी. वर्क करो, अपने इसके ऊपर काम करो, इंशाल्लाह. 90
Thank
96, that's 93%. So अगर आपको sponsorship चाहिए, if you want the sponsorship, we can give it to you. Okay.
Okay.
Just arrange the
What's the
fee.
process?
उसका जो process है, the process is followed by Adfolio. They will get you in the admission. They will get you all of those things. You have to start teaching here. You have to be associated over here, right? That is
Okay.
something you will be paid for, etc., etc., all of those things. But that
Okay.
will put you on track towards going towards UK, right? Inshallah,
Okay.
right?
Sounds.
If you want to go to Europe, wherever you want to go, inshallah, you can go and you can be very, very successful, inshallah. Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, I wasn't planning to apply for jobs right now. Like, Baba wants me to complete the Al Razak labs first. So
Yes.
I just wanted to ask, like, how much time will it take for the labs to be completed? Like, they're just releasing them over and over again.
Well,
They're
they
too
will
much.
keep on releasing them month to month, right? So
Okay.
none of the people can get the labs in one go. That's not
Okay.
possible because the Al Razak program, the AI is building up a persona. It is building up your persona. Where are you? What are you doing? Which country you are from? How are you performing in the labs? How you completed? So AI is learning. He knows it will review your data related to your MCQs, your exam, all of those things, and then based on that, it will build up your portfolio of the labs, right?
Yeah.
That's how we build the portfolio of the labs. It's not something easy, right? Alhamdulillah, the company has reached the valuation. We are about to become like a global company. Alhamdulillah, we have reached the valuation of more than 25 million dollars. Alhamdulillah,
Inshallah.
right? We will, inshallah. Our target is to hit the $1 billion mark in the next 2 years, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
It is because of this system that we have been able to achieve that. राइट, इस सिस्टम की वजह से। द सिस्टम टेक्स टाइम, it requires and consumes a lot of resources. It's a very complex system, which is our own AI model that we have created, right? So उसमें time लगता है. You are given all of these labs, and the labs are there for you. Okay, if I have to show it to you, I will show you the labs. मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ अभी. ठीक है? Do the labs one by one. Even if you complete, the first 6 months, then you'll be able to apply for the jobs. And what you're asking me is कि मुझे कितना time लगेगा? It will take you 6 months if you do it in a focused manner, right? So these are all the domains that we have. ये सारी domains हैं आपके पास. Okay. These are all the domains that you have. Month 1, month 2, month 3. So 6 months में you have to complete all of these labs. And there's a lot of labs. The Grafana और वो सब जो है ना, वो यहाँ पर है. Monitoring and observability, right? So जो आपने किया है. So combined, it covers a lot of labs. And then 7 to 12 months की जो आखिरी 6 महीने की labs हैं, KYC job based labs as per your diploma program and as per where do you want to go, what do you want to do, right? So that's another thing. The other thing is that I want to tell you is like ये जो labs हैं, इसमें the labs are a lot. So if you complete these ones, Red Hat 2, Linux and open source, all the catalog, containerization, Kubernetes, pass the exam. Kubernetes का exam pass करें जाने से पहले. Okay? Become QB astronaut, golden astronaut. Alas, right? If you do that, inshallah, मैं इतना कह सकता हूँ आपको कि you will be at a much higher level, inshallah, globally. आप बहुत आगे जाकर अपना काम कर सकती हो. Let me show you something to give you much more. वो दुनिया में इस वक्त जो हैं 2221 क्यूबी एस्ट्रोनॉट्स बैठे हुए हैं, राइट? इफ यू सी, यू विल हार्डली सी एनी वुमन. दैट्स वन. आना पैदरा. इतने सारे स्क्रॉल्स के बाद एक औरत नजर आई. दीज आर ऑल बॉयज, men. There is a Muslim girl I know from UK. There's another one, Martina Clemente. Okay. I don't see anyone else. I don't know, like he or she. Like, let me search with she, right? So she is like, there are out of 2200, ठीक है ना, उसमें से आपको ये नजर आएंगे, ठीक है ना? So there is a Muslim, I know there's a Muslim woman there somewhere, right? I thought like, why is it she? It's Sharon. Okay. 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 और भी कम है. This is very less, right? She or her कर लेता हूँ, then I might be able to see. So only 75, right? Amanda Moore. There's a Muslim one here as well, right? You can see कि कितनी कमी है, right? So if you do that, Aisha Sarosh, ये जॉन डेयर में काम करती है. Okay, जॉन डेयर इज अ ट्रैक्टर कंपनी है, हैवी मशीनरी की कंपनी है. Okay, so you can see कि एक मुसलमान नजर आई हमको, अजीजा हमदानी, second. Okay, where is she working? We don't know. All right. Then Belhadi Shima, I don't know who this is, right? कहाँ से हैं? But what I'm saying is कि अगर आप यहाँ पर आती हैं, then this will be a very good conversation starter. Look, passing Kubernetes doesn't mean anything that you know all the work. No, that's not the case. Passing Kubernetes will allow you to have a good conversation. But when you do the labs, then you will realize ये जो सारी labs हैं ये करूँगी मैं, जो करूँगी practice करूँगी, then I will be able to go further, inshallah. Okay, because even if you don't have the QB astronaut and if you do all the labs and build up your portfolio, अपना portfolio पूरा बनाए, अपनी LinkedIn पे पूरी journey बनाए, my name is Sayyida Zainab Hassan and I've done this, right? He's calling me. Hold on, let me see. जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम. हाँ भाई, आपको अल्लाह का शुक्र, आपको बैंक स्टेटमेंट मिल गई, सब कुछ हो गया? ओके, दोबारा बताओ, क्या बैंक स्टेटमेंट मिल गई आपको?
जी जी फैसल भाई, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मिल गया.
ओके, तो कहाँ, कौन सी यूनिवर्सिटी में अप्लाई कर रहे हो? साउथ बैंक किधर?
तो आपको मैंने सेंड किया अल्स्टर में ना,
अल्स्टर
कैंपस में, जनवरी इनटेक में। हाँ।
जनवरी इनटेक में इंशाल्लाह। अल्स्टर यूनिवर्सिटी,
जी जी, लंदन कैंपस।
लंदन कैंपस। चलो मैं तुमसे फिर मैं इंशाल्लाह इसके बाद बात करता हूँ थोड़ी देर में, ठीक है इंशाल्लाह। चलो जज़ाकल्लाह। ओके
मोबाइल में कहूँ।
इंशाल्लाह,
Thank
ओके जज़ाकल्लाह खैर। सो यू कैन सी ही इज गोइंग थ्रू अस, राइट? सो आपके पास
Okay.
पूरी अपॉर्चुनिटी, अल्लाह हैज गिवन यू ऑल द थिंग्स। सो जो
Do you
90%
think I'm eligible for teaching?
सॉरी कम अगेन।
Do you think I'm eligible for teaching?
If you were not eligible, I would not have asked you. Okay, so yes, you can. You can teach, inshallah. You know, there's a sister, Laiba Jahangir from Quetta, right? She's teaching. There are multiple other people as well. You can teach, inshallah. Of course, you can. Who said you can't? You can, inshallah. Okay. All right. So, Jazakallah khair for your time. May Allah give you success. It will take you 6 months to complete the program. Where you can get the copy of the resume, because that resume will change everything for you, right? Because when you go for the interviews, yes, you can. If you complete the whole Al-Razak, right, as per the terms and conditions, everything, we can even arrange interviews for you. But we are able to do that in Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, majority Saudi Arabia and UAE, because that's where, and Qatar, that's where most of the jobs are. In Middle East, because they can arrange all those things. And recently, after signing the treaty with the Pakistan Army for Saudi Arabia and providing nuclear umbrella protection and everything, uh, you know, things are getting very good for highly talented people from Pakistan, right?
That's good. My Baba is moving to Saudi, so we're all gonna move soon.
Inshallah. So that opens multiple doors for you, right? They're looking for people. There are 1.1 million jobs in Saudi Arabia in all the sectors, including yours, right? So जो sectors हैं वो सारे sectors मैं दिखा चुका हूँ, बता चुका हूँ बहुत सारे, right? बहुत दफा. That's what you have to do. The other thing is, do not stop your learning journey. Okay? Learning journey आपने नहीं रोकनी है अपनी, because if you stop it, then you will be in trouble, right? So I'm telling you right now, अपनी learning journey आपने नहीं रोकनी है. I'm going to show you the technologies, because पहले जब job ये ख़त्म कर लो, सब कुछ कर लो, then you can upgrade yourself to study further. These are all the technologies you have to do. Because of AI ops, AI, ML, big data, and cybersecurity आपको वैसे ही मिल रहा है. But if you want to add one more or maximum two more, like brain computer interface, you know, semiconductor chip design, quantum computing, drones and autonomous systems, robotics and automation, you can pick up any field you like. These are the 36 disciplines. जिसमें 11 lakh jobs नई create हो रही हैं सऊदी अरेबिया के अंदर, and they are all highly paid. They start from 20,000 Saudi Riyal and above. That's a good salary. I don't know if even your father has 20,000 Saudi Riyal salary, right? So that's a starting salary for you if you go there. On a Pakistani passport, it doesn't matter now, right? On a Pakistani passport. If you have an international passport, the conversation changes and you get for 35, 40,000, 50,000 Saudi Riyal, right? But use Saudi Arabia as a launching pad, inshallah. Go there, stabilize yourself, have enough money, then go towards the West, inshallah. Get your passport, your travel doc, like working papers in order, then come back and work in Saudi Arabia, inshallah. Okay? Jazakallah khair. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका.
Thank you.
Subhanaka wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.